Now, if you've had a little look at what effective study techniques look like, you must have heard about the Pomodoro Technique. Now, this is just about a short burst of study. You don't need a timer or a clock to be able to do it, but focusing on a short burst of study means we are more likely to be actively engaged, not passively, more likely to be able to fulfill the study that we have set out to do, which provides motivation, and more likely then to plan what needs to be done, which means what we're doing is more targeted. So when we look at a short burst of study, the first thing you need to consider is what's short for you? I've got a super good concentration span in the morning and less great in the evening. So maybe my short burst is more like 40 minutes in the morning, and actually maybe it's only 15 minutes in the afternoon or evening. So what you need to do is set up what an ideal short burst is for you. But there are two things that are really overlooked when we talk about these short bursts. It's not about just doing a task for 20 or 30 minutes and then having a break. It's about what we do in that time. So the first thing you need to do in a short burst of study to make it effective is plan. Spend 5 to 10 minutes at the start of that burst planning what you are going to do. Is it 10 maths questions? Is it brainstorming themes from an English novel? Is it looking at one dot point and doing a brain dump? What is it that you're going to achieve in that space of time? And then your body's going to be prepped to do the output to make it possible. The second thing that is so important in a short burst is that you can use this to accelerate learning. When we talk about learning, many of us have that 80% knowledge feel. I know what the topics are, I could define them all, I could answer basic questions. But geez, we're all searching for that 20% that really helps us stand out. So when you do a short burst, think about how you accelerate your learning. And there are 3 main techniques to do that. The first one is to make sure that it is targeted to you. Make what I call a top 5. Write down the 5 topics you hope do not come up on the test or the exam and start there. Redo questions you lost marks on in the past. Your brain remembers your first answer, not the one the teacher corrected. So make sure you're redoing those incorrect questions and target the 20 minutes to what you need. The second, it's a great opportunity to go deeper. Maybe you start by just Googling wider reading in the area of what you're looking at and considering how this could be used in a real life scenario. Maybe you look at linking 2 areas of the course together and considering what the question might be. Push past base knowledge and start engaging with it in the way that examiners will construct questions as well. And the third technique is to look at what's less anticipated. Again, those study cards, those study notes will give us a comfort blanket. But again, that's going to represent 80% of knowledge. So how can you look at the things that you don't think will come up? Maybe that's by looking at the worst ever answered questions that have ever been asked in an exam situation. Maybe it's about you looking at the things that you see have come up the least and designing predictive questions for it. If you want to accelerate your learning, you need to start doing things differently. So remember, short bursts work for everyone. You need to find what your short burst is. Set a plan, get to work, and do things differently if you want to get a different outcome.